We've had enough leaks now that we can start to combine relics and think about strategies, and one combination will get you 99 fletching, crafting, construction, farming and cooking in just 24 hours, and that's not even all that it does. I've read so many comments that fire sale is brilliant, and so many others saying it's absolutely terrible, and I guess we're at that point where, depending on what regions or relics you're going to pick, it can be brilliant or it can be awful. So first I wanted to show you just how incredibly useful this relic actually is. It lets you purchase any supplies from any shop, completely free of charge, and noted so you can set up menu entry swapper like this to purchase 50 at a time or however many is in stock. Because although the shop stock doesn't deplete, if there's only say 10 in stock, each click can only buy 10 at a time. There are so many shops that you can do this with. You can essentially get all the supplies that you need for 99 in the following skills. Firstly, cooking. In Core End, you can get access to Frankie's Fishing Emporium to buy a ton of raw fish. Rufus and Canifus also has raw fish and meat, as well as Flossie and Jatizo, plus a few other shops that have lower level food that isn't perfect, but still faster than getting it yourself. Having this relic with Ascania or Core End will mean you can get as many bag plants as you want, with some giving as much as 1,580 farming and construction XP, and that's just at the 5 times multiplier. Alternatively, if you got access to Keldagrim, you can use the Stonemason where you can buy construction supplies and build things that don't even require planks, including the Scrying Pool, which at 5 times the normal XP rate is 10,000 XP every single one. For crafting supplies, there's loads of gem shops including Ardy, Keldagrim, Core End and Prifddinas, but you can probably also get them in the starter region as well as smithing supplies. Although we've been told that you can't sell things back to shops for coins, there was a comment by Husky when people were talking about the Tazar shops where he said he didn't factor in how easy it's going to be to get Onyx Bolt tips with this relic, which implies that we can sell things for Tokkul and then buy it. If that is the case, then you can buy runes free of charge in the shop southeast of Varrock, and then simply come over here and sell them in the Tazar shop for all of the Tokkul that you're going to need. It is a lot of clicking, which is a definite theme in this league, but 50 at a time will still be pretty quick. It's going to allow you to buy ores here, gems, obsidian, which is likely to be at least one task, onyxes and onyx bolt tips. You can also go to any Slayer Master once you've unlocked Broad Deflection, buy unfinished Broad Bolts and simply add feathers. And there may even be another fletching method that I can't think of at the moment that's even better, but this is all I can think of right now without having to source headless arrows yourself. It also goes without saying that this relic will give you as much GP as you like by buying any expensive item from a shop and just simply alching it. So all of that is all the supplies you're going to need for 6 skills to get you to any level you want, even 200 million XP if that's what you want to go for. But strategically is now where I find it gets really interesting, because you can then combine it with Production Prodigy and it's going to get you to 99 in all of them in less than 24 hours. I've done a guide previously which I'll link just in case you've not seen it, where you can get 1,000 points in about an hour at the start of leagues, which judging by previous leagues should get you to tier 2 and to the 8 times multiplier. That will also get you to the next relic unlock, and a lot of the league's Discord believe this is tier 2, which means we'll get both of these really quickly. Production Prodigy processes everything in your inventory at once in all of these skills except for fletching, just because it doesn't include arrows, as well as construction. Presuming one inventory takes you 5 seconds, cutting emeralds will get you 9.7 million XP per hour. Broad bolts will be 1.6 million per hour, cooking lobsters 13 million per hour, planting tall box hedges in your player-owned house gets you 2 million farming and construction XP per hour, and it will take around 2 hours to get to level 80 required to plant those. Or you could go the Keldagrim route of buying construction supplies from the Stonemason and making scrying pools as 12.8 million per hour. The only one that doesn't benefit much is smithing, because making bars is so slow. Lower level bars are low XP, and smelting higher ones takes up most of your inventory with coal. That works out to 5 skills maxed in 70.5 hours, plus the time to buy the supplies and to unlock Broad Deflection, which you're going to need. Now, I'm not saying that's the best strategy, but the strength of doing that would be that there are high level tasks in those skills that you can now easily do. To simply make one item for a task worth 250 or 500 points is huge in the first few days of leagues, when most players are still doing tasks worth 10 or 40 points. The points that you'll be able to rush this way is likely to put you a few days ahead of everyone else, and you will probably stay there for quite a while, because presuming that you reach the next tier much faster, you'll usually be on a higher XP multiplier than the people that don't do this method, and you also benefit from an extra relic that they don't have yet. But this method comes with a bit of a sacrifice. These relics from this point forward will have very little benefit to you for the rest of leagues, whilst the players trying to catch you will still be benefiting from their choice for most of leagues. If you choose Trickster instead, it will get you to 99 thieving pretty quickly, as well as all the tasks that come with that. Plus, once you get to things like heroes, you make 1.55 million GP per hour. You can at that point afford to buy a lot of the items that people are getting with Fire Sale. Sure, that's not enough for the fastest XP method, but you could still train fairly quickly, and after you get 99 in those skills, you'll still be benefiting from boosted Hunter, Agility, Thieving, and Fire making XP. It is pretty well balanced, I think. One other option is to farm the supplies yourself, and depending on your regions, that's possible too. I've heard the Wilderness bashed by so many people, but revs with the combat relics will probably make you just as much GP per hour as thieving with Trickster. Plus you get a ton of supplies from them too, as well as the Wilderness bosses. Zulrah, Zolcano, and the Gourmet also have tons of really good supplies as well. And if either of those regions were my second pick, I'd be very tempted to avoid Fire Sale. And that's before we even compare what Fire Sale's competing against, if it is in fact, as people suggest, in Tier 2. It wasn't deliberate, but in the course of engaging with the players when this relic came out, a few mods started comparing it to Banknote, and that would make a lot of sense, considering choices in each tier generally share a lot of similarities, as these two definitely do. If that is the case, Banknote is also incredibly powerful, as it lets you have 100% uptime skilling because you can do it on the move. It'll let you boss without banking indefinitely, and means you might even enjoy runecrafting, but don't tell anyone. If these two are in fact linked, what tier they'll be in will be huge too. Getting Fire Sale early will be extremely useful, whether you pair it with Production Prodigy or not, but if it's a higher tier where you already have decent stats and a bunch of supplies, it suddenly makes the relic quite weak. Banknote's usefulness is also dependent on when we get Last Recall, which is almost as good at bosses where you can bank between kills, and whilst runecrafting isn't nearly as quick, it's still pretty quick. Finally, a lot of players believe Fire Sale could be in Tier 2 with Fairy's Flight and Globetrotter, which seems like an odd match to me, but if that is the case, 100% take it. Most places we go for long periods, and the time saved teleporting a little bit quicker is minor compared to getting 99 in 6 skills very easily. Just 2 days left, and tomorrow, the last video I'll be doing before Leagues, which will be all of the quests that you can do for some very early Leagues XP, because the gains that you can get from quests are also usually included in the XP multipliers.